Go for ATL here again. Sitting down to start recording part 2 of, episode 2 of my ComputerCraft challenge series. The first thing I'm doing today is, as I said on the forums, I may have said in the last video, I don't remember, I'm going to be cheating a little bit this time. I've already copied over, I'm using some code I've already written. It's just some APIs. I've go ahead and copied these over from another world. There's 3 of them. There's Go Routine, which I'm not going to be using, at least not for a while, which is just a wrappers for managing coroutines a little more easily. Inventory, which is this describes an inventory, and I have that in there because TurtleX depends on it. And TurtleX is a high-level turtle API. It has basically the same set of commands. Well, I say high-level. It has basically the same commands that Turtle does. It just adds some extra parameters to a lot of them, and adds in some automatic stuff in the background. Where, for example, when you TurtleX call TurtleX.dig, it digs, but it also identifies what slot, what slot the item was dug to. If it was to an empty slot, then it compares it to things it's already got to see if it's more of something else, and it lets you. It doesn't manually. I mean, there's no way without extra mods to know what something is in an absolute way to say like, oh, that's cobblestone. But it allows by using the inventory API, I can tell it. For example, slot 1 is a furnace, slot 2 is coal, slot 3 is cobblestone, and it will. If I tell it slot 3 is cobblestone, it'll automatically know this guy's also cobblestone, because, well, it would. He had these in his inventory, and I haven't even loaded the API yet. So the first thing I'm going to have to do now is make a new startup program, because you want it to load all this stuff as it goes. And all I'm going to do is, I could do them manually, but I'm just going to loop through them for file name in pairs, s.list APIs. So for each thing in that, load API, file name. And that'll be it for now. Exit. Whoops, I didn't mean to do that. Just do a reboot real quick to run startup. And file not found. That's because I'm stupid. FS doesn't list the full path, it just lists the thing. APIs / save, exit, reboot. Alright, I like to have it say what it's doing, so I'm going to add that too. File name, print out what it's doing, loading the API file name. I like to add and just for safety, I don't think a lot of people know about this function. So I'm going to, as a bonus here, I'm going to show you how to use pcall. Pcall os.load API. It takes any number of parameters. The first one is the name of a function to call, like without just the function reference, no parentheses after it, and then the rest of the parameters are any parameters you want passed to that function. And what that does is it calls that function, but if that function throws an error internally, instead of it causing your whole program to stop, it'll catch that error, and we'll catch that in. This returns 2 things. It returns OK. Well, it returns at least 2 things. It returns OK, and then it returns if it was successful, it returns the result passed back from the function, which in the case of OS Load API, I think is just maybe a Boolean. I'm not sure. It might return nil even. But if it's wrong, then it returns the error message. If it fails, then OK will be false, and it returns an error message. So if OK, then print success, else then it'll print the error message. But it'll continue to boot up and it'll continue to load the other APIs. So by doing that, I've made it so that if one of the APIs has an error, throws an error, it won't abort the entire startup program. It'll continue on with it'll just report the error and continue on to the next one. Exit. And just another reboot real quick. Go routine, inventory, turtle, loaded. Alright, now right now the turtle has no idea what's in its inventory. Because this stuff was already there, and I don't, actually it might have. It might automatically run this, I can't remember. Display in was one of the new functions on TurtleX. And it did run update, but it doesn't know what anything is. So it labeled the first one, it found unknown 1, and unknown 2 for the coal, and then slot 3, unknown 3 times 2, and then if we look down here at slot 11, it did identify that's the same thing. It's also unknown 3 was 1. That's just not entirely necessary, but just to show how this works. X.set item type, slot 3, no, the type first, cobblestone in slot 3. And if I display the inventory again, you'll see it labeled slot 3, but it also labeled slot 11. This was put in for debugging purposes, which is why I don't format it better. When I originally had a \n each time, it was too long to fit on the turtle screen, which is only 13 rows high, and there's 16 slots, so it's kind of ugly, but it works. Exit. Actually, no, exit. What am I going to do? Anyway, now I'll be able to use that when I need the more sophisticated features. I'll be able to use TurtleX instead of just Turtle in my programs. Speaking of, the first thing I'm going to do, I started to dig myself, and then I remembered I'm going to get the turtle to go peek and see if it's day or not. And this is one of the things that TurtleX can do. Back 1. All of these take a parameter now. Up 3. I think it's 3, isn't it? Yeah. And then there's convenient little things like this. Dig left. He turns left, digs, and goes back up. Oh, that actually wasn't all the way up. Shoot. Select. So that's 11. No, that's 12. Place left. If I don't want that one there, then there'll be a gap. Up. Dig left again. There. And okay, that made me a little hole I can see through, but it's too small for anything to get out of. So I can see that it's daylight out there. Now, of course, I need some way to get out. So down 4. Let me get out of his way. I'm going to dig the stairs that direction. Turn left. You might have noticed in the previous videos I kept writing, trying to do turn around. TurtleX has that, which is why I keep expecting it to just be there. Okay. Actually, started to do this manually, but I'll do a program for it. Edit. Stairs up. Args equals. Dang it. Local height equals. Args 1. Up. It's going to assume it's in an open space to begin with. It's going to go up once. Dig. Actually, there's a chance to show these move commands. They take. I showed you they take a distance. They also take an optional second parameter, which tells it what to do if it hits something. by default, it just stops, and you can state that explicitly by adding stop as the parameter. But I don't want it to stop. If it encounters something, I want it to dig. And so when it hits something, it will dig, and it'll keep digging as necessary until it moves forward one. If it was facing a stack of gravel, it would keep digging until it was able to move forward one time before it stops. And then now he's dug forward and moved forward. So dig up, dig down. Actually, no, he's starting at ground level. Ooh, starting at ground level is bad. Well, no, I'll just have him dig this one when I'm done. Not a big deal. Or do I want to write the program so that it expects him? No, I already have him moving. Wait, he already moves up one first, so no. I'm just being stupid. Moves up, he moves forward, he digs up, digs down, and that is the end of a loop. Which I haven't been indenting this. For I equals 1, height, do. If not height or height is less than or equal to 0, then actually, let's just make this all formal-like. Stairs up, height. Actually, it'll be so much easier to read this if I use multi-line strings here. Ahead. It would wrap these lines for me, but I'm just going to go ahead and wrap them myself, so that we can read it in the editor too. Digs a straight staircase up, height. And in my multi-line string, close my print statement. Return, in that case, end. Alright, otherwise it's going to run this. Save, control, exit, and stairs up. Only needs to go up 4, I think, right? Yeah. And I do bad. I didn't 2-number this, did I? Nope. 2-number. He goes up. Dig one more time, and now notice, just as a thing, he ended up with some cobblestone because of what slot I had selected. Ended up with some cobblestone in another slot. Display the inventory again. See, he knows that's cobblestone down there, and this guy was unknown again. So, yeah. Because he doesn't know what the dirt is. So I can get to the surface, except now the sun's going down, isn't it? So that's been a complete waste of time. Well, no. He's ready for tomorrow now. Place up. Back. Place up. I should be using my manual control program for that, shouldn't I? Did I do place up and place down? I doubt it. I can't remember for sure. Anyway, as soon as it's daylight again, and I still have my window here where I can see the sky to tell where it's day or night or not, then he'll be doing that. I really wanted to do stuff on the surface today, so I might just might just end this and idle for a bit and come back later. Because, yeah, the next thing I wanted to do is food. So, alright, I'm going to stop the video for a bit and won't actually be doing anything except, well, I might have him empty his inventory to me. Actually, you know, this is a terrible, nasty, gnarly space. I'm going to manual control. Down, back, back, back. Down, oops, down, down, down. Alright, I'm gonna have him. I can't clobber my stairs or get myself stuck. Back up some more. Turn around. I'm gonna dig out because my stairs did go down. I don't want to mess those up. Turn around. Dig. Oh, that was placed. Is that part of my staircase? What is that? It's not an essential part if it is part. Oh, in any case, this'll do. I'm going to have him dig out of space. Turn, turn, go up one, and it's going to be his starting position. Quit. Oh, I didn't put a way to quit in this one, did I? Just Control T. Edit. Dig room. This is going to be, it's going to clear out a room 3 blocks high of some specified width and height, starting from where it is. Local args equals... pull out the argument, first 2 arguments for that. Actually, I keep accidentally hitting Control 2 somehow. I'm not sure what's going on with that. I need to look at that. I think something wrong with the way my control keys are getting detected in this program. At least I figured out that it's doing it this time. So I'll just do, and I'll even follow that convention from some of the standard programs. And give me I need to print usage in a couple different places, so local function usage, print, just a multi-line string, usage, not backstand. What did I call this program? Dig room, wasn't it? Save to yeah, dig room. Dig room width. Actually, do length first. Length, width. Length being where it's facing, and width being, yeah. That's all really. I don't need to make everything else is just obvious. If w equals nil or h equals nil, then usage return actually does error with no string, no parameters do display the error at all? If R is less than 2, then usage. If extract them, if nothing, then save, exit. Call this deliberately with nothing. Okay, it doesn't display an error message. I wasn't sure if it... I'd heard people talking about using error to exit out of things. I usually just structure my code, so that's not necessary, but I'd never actually tried it with nothing, and I wasn't sure if it would display the error message or not. It did not, apparently. Okay, now to dig the room. For I equals 1 to length, do... Actually, I'm going to make a helper function here. Local function forward dig forward. We'll call it dig forward. That's not the best name, but it's a single use function, so it's obvious from the context what it does, because turtlex.dig, turtlex stuff forward. Actually, there's a bug in this. Forward and back throw an error if you pass nil, if you don't pass any parameter. I'm not sure why, what's different about it from the others, but I have to always pass it that 1. Can't let it default to 1. Dig up, dig down, and that's it. That's all it's going to do. But we're going to do for j equals 1. Actually, this should have been width. Height, do, and really, I've been in the habit for years of naming the outer loop I and the inner loop j, but really, the inner loop should be the lower one. I'm going to get out of that habit right now, while you all watch on the internet. And dig forward. So, actually, he's already at 1. If he digs forward 5 times, that'll produce a room 6 wide, so height minus 1, so that we dig 4 more times to get our room to 5 wide. And then after he's done that, we turn right. Actually, he's going to have to alternate turns here, so actually I'm going to have my own function, current turn. Actually, you know what? I'm going to do something here. If width, in this case I want it to dig to the room to the right, forward and to the right, but I might want to be able to dig to one to the left at some point in time. So I'm going to say the negative width means to the left. Is less than 0, then width equals width minus, or negative width, and return equals turn left, actually, and no parentheses there. End, and I needed to do that after this variable is declared, which is going to default to turn right, but then if width is less than 0, it starts off with turn left. And this, every time we turn, we're now going to say actually, no, cur turn, dig forward, and cur turn again, and now we reverse direction for next time. So if cur turn equals turtlex dot turn left, then cur turn equals turn right. Else now this is, in this case I could just alternate on mod to be which is which, but that would require making the variables. I don't know. I just like this approach. This is a more flexible and general approach to doing it. End, and actually we don't want to do this the very last time. We don't want to do this at all the very last time. If j equals width, then break end. So that'll stop him one time early, so he ends in the corner instead of digging one more space out of the room in the direction we don't want to go. And I'm fairly confident this is correct. Once over. Alright, save, exit, and let's, I want him to start from right here, so it's gonna, the end of the room is gonna be here. And let's dig out a space that's, dig room, let's make it an 8 by 8. And we have an error, line 12. Number args1 to number args2 was, oh, your number in Espanol. And lovely. I'm just errorful today, apparently. Oh, I just called this W and H, not width and height. So I started off lazy and then changed my mind, apparently. I think it would have been faster to change it at the top, because there were less instances of W and H than there are of width and height, but okay, Control Save, Control X, that will hopefully be the last error. Ah, there he goes. 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, and turned around like he should have. So this room is 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8 long. I should have had him put torches, but I think he just crashed. He just crashed. 36. Could turn. How is could turn a table? That's after he turned around, so this code must be. Oh, turtle X, comma turned. Wow, Jesus. Okay. Manually get him into position for the next one, and I need to add in a key to quit that. Dig room 6. No, still 8 long, 6 wide. And that will finish digging this room. And yeah, you're just gonna keep doing that, so I'm not gonna make you watch. Okay, I did have the parameters the other way around. Oh well, I don't want to make you watch all this, so I'm gonna pause the recording and I'll be back shortly. Alright, he's dug out the room, as you can see. We need to put some torches around, but we don't have any right now. So the first thing I'm going to do is have him drop all. I updated... Nope. I apparently messed up updating it. I would swear... Oh, wait. Okay, that's a problem. If that requires a parameter... Turtle 18. Turtle 18? I think this is the problem is with drop. Here, let's say 64, which will drop, guaranteed to drop everything. Did I not save? I didn't save. I keep using edit, but I keep hitting Control S to save, and Control S doesn't save. I have to release Control first, because it's gedit that has mine that has the shortcuts. That time it's saved, and he's giving me everything. Alright, now I want to give him back some stuff. I'm going to make some chests here. Actually, don't really want to use all of these, but down. I need to do that. I need to make it echo what it's doing instead of just success. And I'm pretty sure I don't have a suck command. So I'm going to have to Control T. And suck. Okay, I suck those to that slot. Well, that's not a problem. You'll notice that since I ran this in Lua for the first time, it returns 2 parameters. It returns first the true or false, whether it's succeeded or not, whether it sucked anything. But then it also returns this table. Now, if I drop I'm going to drop everything just to show you. This is really more showing off my API at this point than anything else, but why not? Success add equals turtle x dot suck. What that table is the list of what it sucked up. It's only got one thing in it, which is itself a table. Let's go ahead and list through for these. do print key has the count, which is the number of things it sucked, the slot, which is what slot number it sucked into, and the type of the items, which in this case is just going to be unknown. Type unknown. Slot 15. Ooh, that's wrong. It's slot 14. No, they don't start from 0. Still getting used to array numbering starting from 1 instead of 0. And count. Got 7. So, you know, got 7 unknown in the slot 15. Now, the furnace program is going to work double duty here, because the crafting recipe for this is exactly like the crafting recipe for a furnace. But first, actually, I have to craft these into planks. And we need 8 planks for a chest. I'm going to make 2 chests. So let's craft 4. TurtleX.craft 4. There we go. And I thought that returned to table 2, but apparently not. It has no idea what anything is. Unknown and unknown 2. Drop. Drop on TurtleX takes a second optional parameter, which is how many to drop. We're going to drop. Which is what slot to drop from. It just tried to drop from slot 3, which has nothing. Drop everything. Let's demonstrate this. Yeah, the count parameter works as normal. So I dropped all the logs. Pick those up. The furnace program we're going to run now expects the stuff to be selected. I'm actually going to edit it. I'll remove it, or rename it to a container, because a furnace is a kind of container too, and they have the 2 containers in vanilla have a standard recipe. And edit container. I just typoed the name, Control X, and I'm going to make this take an optional count. Local args equals count equals args1 up to number. If args equals 0, then actually move the local here. Else, and if args is 0, then count equals 1. So if you don't specify, it defaults to 1. Local count. Actually, I can just make it default to 1 up here. And if args is not equal to 0, or well, it's greater than 0, I'm going to add a check. If turtlex.get item count. I think it's oh no. Save, exit. Lua. Did I? Okay, yeah. The normal one, as I found in the last video, does not accept no parameters. Apparently, that is something I specifically implemented into mine. Exit. Gedit container. So I can just say get item count will give me the current is less than 8 times count, then let's be specific. 8 times count, at least that many, and I'll try again. Whoops, close, close, turn, end. Now, then he goes on and runs, except now, when we decide how many to drop, we drop all but count instead of dropping all but 1. Otherwise, this program will work exactly like it did before. So my confidence is high that this won't throw an error, and because I said that, it's suddenly I realize it's guaranteed to throw an error. Container 10, number of args. Why did it? Interesting. Okay, shift 1 and shift 2 are what's sometimes, not always, triggering the change. No, it is always. I've identified with that bug in my editor. I'll fix that later. Container 2, which I forgot the parameter last time anyway. Alright, so he's running along doing his thing. This is looking good. Alright, we have 2 chests now. And, well, this is as good a place as any to place them. Manual control. Place. Turn. Forward, turn, back, place. Actually, you know what? Big chests are nice for me, but for the turtle, I think it'll be easier to deal with a larger number of smaller chests, because he only has 16 slots, and he's limited to pulling things from the first slot at a time. So, alright. Do I allow myself to interact with chests, or do I make him do it? I think I'm gonna make him do it. But actually, I'm gonna do it myself this time. I'm gonna write a program for him to keep track of inventories. I actually need the furnace and my remaining logs. Actually, no, I don't need the logs. I need the sticks and half of my coal. And actually, I don't need the furnace either. I will have to place that soon, but for now, I'll just leave it. Okay. Control T. No, dang it. Okay, I need control for that is a bad idea, especially if I'm not going to have a way to quit naturally. So I'm going to add a way to quit naturally. Else if key is equal to keys.q, is it capital or lowercase? We'll find out. Then exit, not exit, return. Oops, I already had an end. I keep running that one. And it's not throwing an error, strangely, but it's not quitting. And that is strange. What? This is one of those things I'm going to see this later and watch myself later, and it'll be so obvious. Keys.q, 16 keys. Oh, capital Q is nil, right. I was thinking that would throw an error if I had it wrong, but nope. Just, that's Lua-ness for you, if it's Q. And manual control. And Q quits now. Oh. When you match a key to a letter and then exit, the key event hasn't arrived yet, so I'm going to grab the key event, which is always immediately after, so that'll always happen instantly. Okay, except place the chest back and now quit. Lovely. This might be more entertaining, or at least more fast-paced, if I fumbled a little bit less, but well, there you have it. I fumble. And I'm going to put these two in this chest for him to promptly Lua, suck, suck. back actually and select 2. Actually, no, I don't think I did. I'm going to try something because I think I may have added a parameter to this. Try sucking to 5. Yep, I did. You can say suck to slot 5. And notice it's selected here to drop them, but then it went back to where it was. So, yeah, a lot of the functions take that optional slot number as a parameter now, and they all behave that way, where they restore the selection afterwards. So now, craft, and we crafted them all. We have a whole bunch of torches now. I'm just going to run around the room placing some. Yeah, that is a function. Put them at let's put them at the ceiling actually, so they'll be as out of the turtle's way as possible. Place. Oops. Manual control. Place. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh. I'm going to be mining that coal, so I don't want to place it there. Oops, and I went forward anyway. Place it there instead. Place. 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 Put one more on the far wall over there. Really? No, I'd gone too far already. I thought I hadn't gone far enough, so I was trying to go forward. And now our room's lit up, which is nice. We got this more vein of coal over here to dig. Which brings me to now it's going to be time to write a vein mining program, which I'll get to after a brief break.